And what's up, y'all? Welcome to another special episode of the Tricology News Talk. As will be a special Respect the Combat podcast collaboration special table discussion interview. We will be interviewing a special guest today. It is the Demetrius Holmes, aka Santana. He is a local indie wrestler who is working his way up in the wrestling on the scene. We're gonna have a very good special sit down table discussion interview for you guys today. So we'll stay tuned for the interview. And what's up, y'all? And welcome to a special edition of the Respect the Combat by podcast. This is going to be a special interview. And of course, my name is Trico Fullerton, representing RTCC today. And with us today, we have a very special interview for you guys. So this and on the show today, we have a very special guest with us. He's a very, I would say, a very exciting wrestling indie wrestler that is with us today. So let's give a warm welcome to Demetrius Holmes. What's good, brother?
What's up? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
All right. So give us a quick introduction of yourself and what wrestling name that you go by.
Okay, well, quick introduction. I go by Nazir Santana, but everyone knows me by Pharaoh. So yeah, I go by Nazir Santana, but outside of that, everyone calls me Pharaoh. So yeah. And something brief. I got a bunch of exciting stuff coming up this year that I want everyone to stay tuned to and watch and look out for.
That is awesome. That is awesome, bro. So let's go into that. Let's dive in deep. So tell us about your story. What made you want to start a life as a professional wrestler?
I've always loved wrestling growing up as a kid. And it was something that me and my dad used to watch heavy. It's kind of like it's kind of like how me and him bonded. And then when I lost him in 2018, I still felt like something was missing. So I was like, you know what kind of better way than to, heal and get over grieving than to just, go out and do the thing I love.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. So let's go in even more deeper. What indie shows that you have competed in, and what cities have you have wrestled around the world in?
I wrestled and actually had my debut match in Nashville, Tennessee. So that was actually pretty cool. To go to Nashville on my debut match and just get all the love from people who literally didn't even know me from a can of paint. But by the end of the night, they were all chanting my name. So that was pretty cool. I've been to Nashville, I've been to Jacksonville. Um, I've been up and down Florida. I've been to Orlando. I've wrestled for the NWA. I wrestled for CCW. I wrestled for FEW. Um, I'll be going to Daytona later on in the month, as well as I got a couple of international shows and things like that I'm getting ready to work on too. So very excited.
Yeah, that is awesome to hear. So let's talk about your wrestling gimmick. So how did that came about?
I think for me, my wrestling gimmick is more so lo and behold true to myself. Um, because at first when I went to go find a wrestling gimmick, I kind of like struggled with different gimmicks because I didn't want to come off as like the corny person or the way too serious guy or so I kind of like had to find a medium between the both of those. And I think my character more so just I guess my character is more so um the person I needed when I was younger, just I brought them to life now. that I have a space to do that, if it makes sense.
Mm. Okay. So
So
yeah. So yeah, so it said so I heard that you started wrestling in 2020, that's correct?
hmm
Yeah. So we all know that being a wrestler you because you're gonna be on the road, you won't have time to to see family that whole 365 days a year. We know how hard that is. So like when it comes that time that you'll be on the road, it's like you're just waiting patiently to be wrestling in your hometown. So that's a good thing to be waiting for. So what
yeah.
so I have to ask, what are the challenges on being on the road? Probably not getting any sleep or have to train every day to put on a good show for the audience. And what is it like to not only connect with your fellow workers but also the fans when you're out performing?
I think in the beginning, being on the road and just traveling a lot, in the beginning, it's very hard to adjust to. But if you have a drive to want it more than anything else, you're gonna always overcome any obstacle. Um, when I first started, um, when I first started in the business, um, I want to say I trained at least 5 or 6 days out the week, and I used to train for almost like 4 or 5 hours a day, just putting in that time, that energy, just paying my dues in the business. And then like when you're going on the road and you don't get to see friends or you don't get to see family as much because most of your weekends are consumed with doing shows, setting up, breaking down, being all hands on deck, things like that. So after a while, you kind of get in the space where you're just like, I kind of miss my friends and this is that and the third. But for me, I kind of sat back and just kind of looked at it like, well, damn, I kind of miss my friends. But my friends can always come to my local shows, and have they? And using that, I always kind of reevaluated like what or where my focus should have been. So it definitely gets lonely. However, for me, I had a tag team partner for like the first year. And I want to say within that first year, me and my tag team partner, we kind of grew a bond to the point where we would just essentially talk like every day. So that kind of like filled in that space and that void.
Mm. Yeah, that's great. That is very good. That's very great to hear. So uh with that not only being on the road but having it to connect with your fellow workers and the fans out there. So add the ones to this particular question. So when connecting out with your workers and the fans, like do you see them as your secondary the family? Do you consider them as your secondary family?
Of course, of course, because these are the people who I'm majority around now more than my family. When I go on road trips, these are the people who I share the cars with. These are the people who I share hotels with. Um, we train together, we eat together. Um, we all, shut eyes at the same time at night. We all wake up at the same time. So it's just kind of like we're at some point they don't become secondary, they become primary.
That very good. So as far as in the ring, so what would you consider your style to be, and who you and it's goes because who you take inspiration for that? Consider yourself. Do you see yourself as a high flyer? Do you see yourself as a technical powerhouse? And who you gain these aspirations from? Any professional wrestler that's out in the big leagues.
I want to say, because wrestling has evolved so much from what we've originally known growing up and watching, I would say so has my style. I don't like being placed into a box because when it comes to like the art of storytelling and things like that with wrestling, like if you really want to have a decent story, you really want to have a decent match, I believe you should be able to change those gears. Um, Mid match. So I never just put my wrestling style inside of one box. I always tell people I'm a hybrid. I'm a hybrid. I can do it all. I can fly. I got power. I got strikes. I can, I'm technical. So
So you're like a all around that type wrestler, all around.
mhm. I'm able to adapt to my surroundings as well as my opponents in the ring.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. So, my last question: where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself being a big star in the indie scene, or are you willing to work your way up to the big leagues?
I think either or, with the even either or within the next 5 years, I'm gonna either A, be big in the indie scene, or B, be big with some major promotion. But within the next 5 years, I'm definitely gonna be big. That much I know, and I just say that as humbly as possible. But it's just simply because I know how much of the grind, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the frustrations. Um, I know how much of that I put in, so I know it's all gonna pay off.
So, let's say if AEW, WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor that come to you and they want to sign you, you'll be like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go to either one, or do you have a particular one that you want to go to when that time comes?
When that time comes, because I look at everything business wise now, when that time comes, I think at first, I'll, I always sign to the WWE or sign to the E first, just simply because as far as from a business aspect, it's a good move. Um, Not only do I enhance my profile and my face card, internationally, but there's things that I can also, be included in for the first time going forward, which is like the WWE 2K series. That's always awesome to be featured in your first video game. Um, and just to be able to have that accolade or that stamp of saying, yeah, I work for the WWE, when it comes time for me to step down. And then we'll talk about like AEW and then New Japan and stuff like that. But if I really had to sign a major promotion first, it would be for New Japan.
Yeah, I like that one. So, and to wrap it up, if there's any other upcoming shows that you want to promote, this would be a good time to do it. And share us your social media so everyone can follow you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to my actual calendar list so I can see the list of my shows. Because there's a lot. Show. All right. So the 15th, we have tapings over at FEW down in Hialeah, 1401 East 11th Avenue, Hialeah, Florida. We'll be doing some tapings there for a new series that we're about to go ahead and kick off. And then that following day, we also have the beautiful Reefer Mania that takes over South Florida at least 2-3 times a year. It's always lovely. And then in May, we have a couple of Cinco de Mayo shows. April 30th, like I said, I will be either in Daytona or Bahamas doing a show there. May 20th, I have more tapings. June 20th, I have more tapings. And then June 18th, I'll be back in Jacksonville working very close with Elijah Burke, the Pope, who's actually one of my favorite people. I started working with him, and he's actually one of my favorite people because just by watching him alone, I've learned so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also your social media that everyone can follow you at.
Yeah, my social media is I am Nazir Santana, all one word. Nazir being Nasir, Santana Santana. And then I am Nazir Santana.
All right, thank you so much, and also we want to thank you for your time, but for being with us. We had a great time to hear your story, and we hope to see you make it big in the innings and then soon up to the big league soon, and see what else you got us for us to see, and we just can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you all for having me aboard. Anytime in the future, whenever you all are welcome and willing for me to come back, I'll be more than happy to. I might even bring a friend or two.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for being on board with us. And without further ado, now we are out. Deuces.